Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to E3, the world's greatest gaming convention where the world gets to see the endless creativity pouring out of this industry into the hands of consumers. So cue the pre-rendered cutscenes that say absolutely nothing about the actual game.
So, that's why I thought you out.
Yeah, E3 this year was mostly a marketing event like normal, which is alright considering it gets condensed into 1 week. Thankfully, it's mostly games with a touch of technology that people actually care about, so it's a good sign for things to come. The unofficial start of E3 came from the new kid on the block, Google, who released more about the Stadia. As good as it was, my question was, who is this actually going to be for? People who can't afford games consoles won't have a good enough internet to afford it, and those who can either don't care or they just have a PC or console anyway, so I don't really see the point in them buying another one. Yes, it's cheaper than the traditional consoles, but the whole point of you being able to transport around won't work as you can't guarantee that everyone else is going to have a decent enough connection to the internet. Not only that, but if you have a whole bunch of people who want to use the internet at the same time, you're going to blow through the internet like crazy. PC Gamer magazine made an estimate on how much time you get to play your games, which will cost an absolute bomb in data if you play a lot of games. You also need to consider how much lag there is going to be when you have many people playing, and there isn't that much gameplay out there that shows how good and consistent it's going to be. I really can't see how this is going to be worth the money right now out of the gate, especially as everything else right now is just in better shape. Not to mention, there is a pretty pointless subscription you can get for $10 a month on top of buying your games normally. Yes, that's right, we have another marketplace like Steam that you can buy your games from. There's a big risk that you're gonna lose your games if this doesn't work out and you choose Stadia over the Epic Games Store or Steam. If they can't solve the issues present, it might just be a failure. During the Stadia conference, Bungie actually announced that they were going to be their own publisher, so we can hopefully expect to see more AAA content from them. Oh, you're still just going to make Destiny content? Ah, sick. We actually have a single player Star Wars game after that 1313 game got cancelled by EA all those years ago. From the gameplay they showed, it looks alright considering that the combat seems to have a bit of variety to it, but did anyone else get the vibe that this is just Star Wars Assassin's Creed? The combat seems pretty similar, but with only a lightsaber and a few token force moves, while also having the most basic bit of climbing. I just have a feeling that it'll devolve into one of these, with a little bit of this. It's a shame that this has to be as baby-proof as possible in order for Star Wars license to print money for EA, but they are using Unreal 4 engine instead of Frostbite, which gives me some hope that it won't be complete garbage. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, this is EA, I'm not stupid enough to give them my money. Oh, and they also announced some games that I really couldn't care less, or don't think many other people would really care less about. So, Bethesda came out with... hold on. Do you hear that? Doom Eternal, boys, roll the gameplay! This is by far the game that I'm most excited for. It are really shaping up to be putting out a really good sequel to Doom 2016, and I put everything up to 11, which is exactly what I wanted for. If these additions address the repetitive end of the last game whilst keeping the core gameplay as strong as before, this will be an absolute treat to play with this brilliant gore and straight no bullshit gameplay. My only issue with this is that there seems to be so much going on at once that my brain just might explode once I get my hands on it. Especially for consoles, considering they're using a controller. I mean, I guess they're showing us all the best bits to hype us, which I'm not complaining about, but it's just a concern of mine as they might alienate newbies to the franchise. Besides that, what they've shown us has got me hooked and I'm really not complaining about it. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the land of pre-rendered cutscenes and the golden rule of E3, that you're always going to look like an idiot if you come on stage, no matter who you are. Sorry, Keanu Reeves. Well, Phil Spencer broke that rule again.
This right now is the single most creative and energizing time in gaming history.
How many RPGs did we see this year from E3? My point exactly. To be fair, the new Project Scarlet seems like it's going to be a really good piece of tech, and Halo Infinite is going to be the poster child of the new console. I I have no idea how this virtual RAM thing is gonna work, but it seems pretty cool. And it's nice that the new Games Pass includes an Xbox Live for 15 bucks. My big question is, why would anyone want to buy an Xbox in this age? PlayStation just put out better bits of hardware than Microsoft and just have enough exclusives to easily beat out Microsoft head to head. All the games Microsoft showed are available on PC or other platforms, so why would you pick an Xbox at this point? Yeah, the Games Pass is a cool idea, but you can get old games pretty cheap online or at the shop, so this kind of negates the need for it. The lineup of games Microsoft had did seem alright, despite the fact that there wasn't much gameplay. Minecraft Dungeons looks promising, despite the fact that it's definitely going to have microtransactions out the arse. But it's hard to say, considering that everything was basically a trailer that said nothing. It was just bland, if we're being totally honest. Oh my god. That was really boring. First place to Ubisoft for breaking the golden rule of E3. It's the best. The worst. I don't know. Nintendo. They've absolutely killed their announcements for the upcoming game season with the new Smash Bros characters, a new Luigi's Mansion, a Breath of the Wild sequel, and some other smaller games which will keep me occupied for ages when they come out. The new characters for Smash are a bit of a mixed bag. On one hand, Banjo-Kazooie is a perfect fit for the game, despite the fact that Chief isn't gonna come. But the Dragon Age character, on the other hand, was a bit of a disappointment for me. Banjo-Kazooie is such a fun, vibrant character with plenty of personality that would hold his own in the roster purely on his character alone. And then you have the bland, cut-and-paste character of the hero being put in to pretty much sell the new Dragon Age remake. There are so many other characters that you could have put in, but you decided to go with him of all characters? Luigi's Mansion 3 is nice to see, especially as it's been 6 years since the 3DS version. The multiplayer aspect of this seems pretty interesting, especially as there is a genuine gameplay reason to have someone play with you, considering that Mario Odyssey or Galaxy relegated you to being P1's bitch if we're being completely honest. I've never played Luigi's Mansion before, but it seems like it could be a lot of fun. The other games that caught my interest first off was My Friend Pedro. This seems so stupid but hilarious at the same time, both in gameplay and presentation, but I'm looking forward to it nonetheless. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. This Empire of Sin game will allow me to put on my Godfather or Goodfellas impression the whole way through, and I'm just excited to be able to do that. I mean, I'm really intrigued by the fact that John Romero is making an XCOM type game, even though he's famous for making that old shooter Doom back in the 1993. It's just interesting to see that he's just changed so drastically from the one style to the other. I mean, he's taken a back seat, so I've heard from an interview, but you know what, it seems like it could be promising. Hopefully it just works out. All in all, Nintendo, you did a good job. Probably the best presentation out of everyone by a mile. So the E3 conferences have finally ended for this year, and I'm kinda optimistic for the year to come, which really surprised me considering how that in previous years, there hasn't been that much I really cared about. That's not to say I'm getting carried away, especially since most of the stuff here is speculative until we get our hands on the actual games, and there is a lot of speculation to be had here, considering that there were so many trailers as usual. And I'm also interested if this whole Stadia thing works out, or if it just turns out to be another failure on Google's part. But I'm looking forward to the next gaming season, for better or worse, so hopefully most things deliver. Thank you everyone for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe if you're new here, and with all that other fun stuff you do as well. I'm on Twitter now at RealPlatonic. Yes, someone actually took my name, which is really annoying because he hasn't used it in like 9 years. But yeah, leave us a follow. Thank you very much for watching.